Welcome to the League of Legends Patch Preview. I'm Freak and I'm here with Morello, lead champion designer. Together we'll be discussing some of the gameplay changes coming into the next patch for League of Legends. Note that this video does not cover every single change, but will explain the thought process behind some of our decisions. The biggest set of changes in this patch is the removal of dodge as a global stat from League of Legends. With this removal comes a significant rework on parts of Jax, the Grandmaster at Arms. Though dodge is being removed in general, Jax will be gaining a unique, short-duration 100% dodge ability. For the rundown on all of his new abilities, check out the Jax Champion Spotlight by clicking the link in the video description or the box right here. Talk to us about the Jax remake. What issues are we looking to solve, and what kind of champion are we looking at with the reworked Jax?
So when we removed dodge from the game, the biggest question on a lot of people's minds was, what about Jax? We've answered that in a few ways, and we think people are going to get excited about him, especially Jax players. The first is, dodge is actually still kind of on Jax. What we mean by that is Counter-Strike now gives 100% dodge for a short duration. This is now much more reliable and consistent than the old kind of like stacking random dodge and hope it procs during a fight, that kind of thing. Jax can now kind of tactically wait for a lot of focus fire, especially physical, to come in, hit this 100% dodge, reduce a lot of damage, and then get his big payoff with the AoE stun that Jax players are kind of used to and expect. This is going to not only continue to promote skilled play with Counter-Strike, but actually separates the good Jax players from the great Jax players. Great Jax players will maximize the damage reduction they're going to get from this dodge, as well as timing that stun just perfectly. We're really excited to see what players are going to do with this. Another change we did is, the old version of Jax had similar cooldowns on both Leap Strike and Empower. What this did is it created Jax into really kind of a burst melee mage as opposed to any kind of real sustained melee fighter. What you're going to see instead this patch is Empower's cooldowns much lower. This creates a lot more uptime and makes him much more of a sustained kind of fighter that relies on empowered auto attacks as well as his other moves. Another change you'll see this patch is to Jax's passive. We've removed the old stat conversion passive that he had before. He was getting really tanky without even trying late game while still doing tons of damage, and there just wasn't a lot of gameplay or things the enemy team could really do about it once it reached this point, which was pretty often. What we've given him now is a stacking attack speed buff. What this is going to allow him to do is be more of that sustained fighter we talked about earlier, as well as be able to jungle really effectively. So we're really excited to see both Jax in lane and jungle and see what the possibilities are there.
In keeping with the dodge removal, Ninja Tabi is undergoing some changes. It's losing its dodge, and instead gaining a percentage damage reduction from all non-turret basic attacks. What role will the new Ninja Tabi fill?
We expect that Ninja Tabi will be as useful in the same role as it was before, if not more so due to the added consistency. We wanted to retain its role of cheap, early game, anti-physical boots. This will be maintained with the new damage reduction as well as having the same build path as it did before.
The final point of dodge removal is Sword of the Divine, which caused your champion to ignore dodge for a few seconds when activated. What's the future for this item?
When we were looking at Sword of the Divine, we were like, what is this thing going to do now? And where we kept ending up was somewhere really close to Ionic Spark from Dominion. So instead of making these not noticeably different items, what we decided to do is just let people on Summoner's Rift and Twisted Treeline buy Ionic Spark. It's a fun item, it fulfills that proc attack speed role, and it has a pretty unique feel to it. So we thought, why not bring over a fun and interesting item from Dominion into the classic game modes as well?
Riven is receiving a number of tweaks this patch. Most importantly, her health regeneration is going down, and some of her damage is being pushed into Broken Wings. First, why are we nerfing Riven? And second, why are we shifting her damage around?
Riven's changes really revolve around hitting her laning power. What we are seeing is a real pattern of her being able to dominate pretty much any lane she went up against. One of the things we hit was her natural health regeneration. Since Riven has a shield, having a high health regeneration combined with that meant damage really wasn't permanent. As hard as it is to get through that shield, when an opponent breaks it, that damage should stick. We have changed the level up incentives on both Broken Wings and Ki Burst. The reason for this is you should be leveling up Ki Burst in order to get stuns more frequently, lowering that cooldown and adding to your crowd control power. Leveling up Broken Wings should really be the attractive damage option. The new level up benefits should really incentivize leveling up Broken Wings for damage and Ki Burst for crowd control.
Thanks for tuning in to the League of Legends Patch Preview. Please subscribe to the Riot Games YouTube channel, and don't forget to thumbs us up just below the video.